It's the start of high school football season. No better time of the year. Marquise Rodriguez electrifying us here at White Stadium.
Yeah, he just shook off the face mask and kept on trucking.
Flamingo finds the pylon for the touchdown. Second kickoff return for a touchdown this season for Kai Harris.
The most impressive part to me was he put that on the money.
What a throw, Charles! And he is in for a touchdown. What a ball game we had here at White Stadium. Hello, Boston. Welcome to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship. As tonight, the Edwards Middle School will be taking on the Fredericks Panthers. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Alan, tonight we got the City Championship in middle school football. We just had the Township, which was a nice game earlier.
Very
but
good
the
game.
City Championship is between the two teams that really have been the top squads all along here in 2016. Both these teams with just one loss on the season, the Edwards and the Fredericks. Going to be a fun one.
Should be a good game, like you said. Both teams have earned their way here by winning throughout the season. A lot of talented kids and a big game for some very young people, huh?
That's right. It's certainly geared up to play this one. As we've said in the Township game, usually this game is played over at Harvard Stadium, but tonight it's here at White Stadium. Not a bad place to have sort of the consolation venue that you normally, instead of what you normally would have. But on the
Well, it's special for these kids because a lot of these 8th graders will be playing high school football here next year.
Right, so they'll be playing here a lot anyway, so certainly a good spot for them. For the Edwards side, head coach John Rice, we see him a lot on the girls basketball
6
court,
days away from starting that, right?
Yeah, that's right, but he's going to cap off the football season here tonight as the Edwards head coach.
He's hoping to get a championship for that middle school, and then I'll tell you, John's been involved in sports. He coached high school football at the Burke some years ago.
Right.
Like you mentioned, he's been involved with girls basketball for many, many years, and he just loves coaching. Loves coaching and loves teaching.
Without question, John. Obviously, he talked about how a lot of these players don't know the game of football very well, but he loves the challenge of coaching these kids. Now, for more on this game, we're going to go down to our sideline reporter, Ryan Provencher, who's got an update for us in just a second. But when you talk about these two teams, the Frederick, meanwhile, on the other side, they've also been involved in a lot of championship games, more on the basketball side. These
I was just going to say that, right.
Usually good in middle school basketball.
Well, a lot of times, the good athletic skill will translate from football to basketball, especially at this age, because kids just love to play on their own, play a lot of pickup, they play at recreation leagues, and so this is a good start for the don't forget, we're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
That's right. And certainly young guys are still learning the game, but it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. For more of this game, we are going to go to our sideline reporter, Ryan Provencher. Ryan?
Thank you, guys. I talked to Coach Arrington from Frederick before this game, and he just told me that really this team is focused on the fundamentals and perseverance throughout this season. That's why they're the #1 seed. However, they do have a big opponent in Edwards. Edwards has been to this game either in the Township or the city in 3 of the last 5 years, so we'll see if they'll be able to use those fundamental skills to be able to bring down a pretty tough opponent. Guys, back to you.
Thanks very much, Ryan, and certainly the Fredericks Panthers have proven that throughout the season. Their one loss actually came as a disqualification. They had a player who was ineligible. They didn't know until after the game that he was ineligible, so they were disqualified. They would be 6-0 if that weren't the case.
That's always a tough way to lose a game, but you're right. In their minds, they're undefeated. That's where it counts. And they play like that.
We are set to go here at White Stadium, as the Edwards will be doing the kicking duties. They're in the Navy, Frederick in the light blue, and we're underway here at White Stadium. 2016 Middle School Football City Championship. Good tackle there from the Edwards, and being corralled just before the 30-yard line was number 21 for the Frederick.
That's Flores.
Denzel Flores.
Yeah. Interesting matchup because, like you said, both teams sort of felt like they're the best team. They've been the best team throughout the season.
That's right.
And
you see the starters for both squads: Rivera, Anderson, Flores, Jeremy Gonzalez Mejia, and Jacob Gonzalez Mejia for the Fredericks.
And getting the yardsticks squared away.
Now on first down for the Fredericks. The handoff over the left side. And a short pickup on first down, getting the carry for the Fredericks was number 32, Christian Tishari, or Tishari Christian, excuse me.
They have they came out in the old-fashioned T formation with 3 running backs behind the quarterback, so trying to sort of deceive the defense by not tipping off who will be the main runner.
So just a 2-yard pickup there on really a 1-yard pickup on first down. 2nd down and 9 now for the Fredericks. Try to run the sweep this time and escaping a tackle for the Fredericks, but then being corralled right around the 32. That might have been Denzel Flores, and it was. So Flores not a lot of running room either.
You see on the replay, they did run through that one arm tackle, so bouncing around like a pinball, but sort of a short game. I'd say one difference you see right away from the Township game is the size of the linemen for both teams.
So 3rd and 9 now for the Fredericks. They pitch it over the left side, and Tishari Christian bottled up in the backfield.
Kevin Works came across in good shape, and love those one-on-one tackles.
So a big loss on the play for the Fredericks. That'll back them up to the 25-yard line. So that'll be a 3rd and 13 now for the Fredericks.
Yeah, Works like a linebacker with 35. Couldn't really tell if he was blitzing or just read the play after the handoff was made.
Kevin also one of the main running backs for Edwards, so we'll see him on offense.
Yeah, it should be 4th down actually. Now they got it. Right.
Now they got it. So it's 4th and 14. And the Fredericks are going to punt the football. End over end kick that trickles out of bounds. I know it is returned by Works. Here comes Works down the sideline, and he is corralled at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, Fredericks looked like they sort of fell asleep. They thought like you that the ball was going to go out of bounds, but I guess it bounced back inbounds, and Works tacked on like a 9-10 yard return.
So the Edwards, after a good defensive stand, get the football already in Frederick territory, and here's the Edwards starting lineup. It's Holmes at quarterback, Basby, Kilter. Kilter is actually the quarterback, as they had a lineup change. Johnson and Williams are the receivers. On first down, they hand off up the middle this time. Good carry by Works, past the 40, up to the 39-yard line.
First play for Ed was good blocking in the middle. But they're able to give Works some running room. See on the replay, simple handoff, but able to maneuver his way upfield. The short season is tough both from the coaches and the players because there's not a whole lot of time to practice. And like you said, there's a lot of teaching involved as much as coaching. You see John Rice talking to Quilter, the quarterback. But but they do a good job, and when it comes down to these postseason games, it's pretty amazing that these kids perform so well. A lot of pressure. They put a lot of pressure on themselves, but just the excitement of being in a playoff situation.
2nd down and 3 now for the Edwards after the big gain on first down from Works. This time it's Kilter looking for some room on the quarterback keeper. Makes his way to the outside. Kilter inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line.
He made one really nice move around the line of scrimmage. Faked dipping inside, went back to the sideline. We may see it here. Watch it, a little fake right here. Goes inside, back outside. That opens up the sideline. It adds another 10 yards.
14-yard pickup on the play first. Edwards.
Edwards been impressive on this first drive. There, everything's going forward for them.
Yeah, defensively, they were able to get a lot of penetration in the backfield, get a lot of tackles for loss, and they keep going in that direction with these runs.
That's right.
Now, first down from the Frederick 25-yard line. Bosby gets the pitch here on first down over the right side. Bosby looking for some room. Slips a tackle. Bosby, he's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown. Hey, you talk about quickness, Pat. As soon as he got it, he was like shot out of a cannon. Good blocking up front. He was able to make his way all the way to the sideline. Watch him just keep going while he has Workman in front of him. And he's hit the pylon. So the kids watching enough TV, they know that the pylon is actually in the end zone.
That's right. So if you hit that, it's good.
Right. They like the drama of jumping on the pylon.
So Juan Bosby with the touchdown
run. That's an impressive drive, I'm telling you. I mean, we were talking about how if you look at the two teams, you think of Frederick as a slight favorite coming in, but at this age, there probably really isn't a favorite.
Either team actually played each other during the regular season. And as we mentioned, both teams coming in with one loss. Now it's Edwards looking for the two-point conversion. Kilter looking for the end zone off the spin move, and he does get in.
He likes that little dip inside-out move, and that always frees him up for some space.
So Kilter is able to spin into the end zone for the two-pointer. Two-point conversions were big in the last game. They might be big here tonight as there you see Kilter.
Nice spin move, yeah. Just like that, 8-0.
So a very impressive drive there for the Edwards. 3 plays, 45 yards down the field in a touchdown run from Juan Bosby.
Almost like it sort of reminded me of a boxing match where one fighter comes out and wants to sort of feel things out. Was Frederick. Right. Edwards, we're ready to go.
Yeah, they're coming out like Apollo Creed.
And so they, like you said, they went right down the field. I mean, the simple plays too. I mean, the quarterback, Kilter, had the key run, I thought, because he was able to break down the sideline and get them into the red zone. So they'll go to Bosby, he gets his carry and takes it all the way to the end zone.
So 8-0, Edwards on top of the Fredericks here midway through the first quarter of the 2016 Middle School Football City Championship.
Kickoff for Edwards.
Rashad Diaz to kick off for the Edwards. And he kicks a knuckleball out of bounds.
It does stay in bounds.
So
saved by Frederick. Still alive.
That's right. Here comes Flores down the right side. Flores has got a wall.
If he gets a block, he got plenty of room.
Denzel Flores down the sideline, slips right around the 23. And they're going to mark him down at 22. Heck of a return from Flores.
He got a penalty mark. Oh,
that's going to be wiped out.
That's a shame because Flores really put a charge. See, the ball got knocked down there. Flores picked it up, so he didn't hear a whistle, so he keeps going.
It might have been a block in the back.
Yeah, he had a teammate in front of him, the 16, who didn't realize that there was one more player for the Edwards tracking him down.
That wipes out a 50-yard kickoff return for Flores.
And that happens a lot at any level when you have a player reversing his field like that.
Penalty call is an illegal block in the back.
And it is a block in the back.
Just like you said, yeah. That happens a lot. Your teammate is trying to help you out, and what ends up happening is you get a defender who turns around, so unintentionally, once you make contact, it's a block in the back. So we'll see if that starts to stir up the Frederick.
So the Frederick now at their own 21-yard line. On first down, they hand off. And again, not a lot of room. Oh, escaping tackles and making his way upfield for the Frederick. Past the 40, he fumbled the football.
Ball came out twice.
Frederick recovers at the 41. That was a good carry from Deshari Christian.
Christian, he's trying to even things up real quick. I tell you, that was an excellent run. Watch this again. He runs through 2 tacklers. The spin move.
Christian on the carry.
Let's see where the ball gets lost. Oh, it gets ripped out right there at the end as he's being tackled.
Looked like Amir Johnson was there for the strip.
Luckily, his teammate got it back, so Frederick retains possession.
Now on first down for the Frederick. At the 41-yard line, they pitch it over the right side, and that time Christian gets wrapped up in the backfield. Coming up with the stop was Tazwan Boydkin.
Yeah, watch Boydkin, number 60, comes across, simply beats the block, and one-on-one tackle. Boydkin, one of those 8th graders, who, like you said, Pat, very well may be in a varsity uniform next year.
By Zalea.
So the
6-yard loss on the play.
tackle in the backfield there by Boydkin. 6-yard loss on the play for the Fredericks. So second down and actually 7-yard loss. Second down and 17. They pitch it over the right side. Here on second down and making his way past midfield was Anthony Cooper Hall.
Yeah, they'll call him for stepping out
that
of
was
bounds
Edwin Casey.
at the 49-yard line. So he'll be a little short of the first down. Nice carry, though. Tries to sidestep the tackle, stepped out of bounds right at the 49.
Third down and 2.
So third down and 2 now for the Fredericks.
Boy, night and day difference from their first drive. I mean, they were like in mud the first time, but here they are going for a first down.
They pitch it over the left side of Tashari Christian. He makes a nice cut. Here comes Christian in open space inside the 40 down to the 37.
There you go. Nice cut inside, using his blocks. I like the fact that his teammate threw one block and then went downfield trying to hit somebody else. 18, that was Casey. Edwin with 2 good blocks on one play. See a lot of different things in middle school. The last time you saw a quarterback number 99. Right?
There was a quarterback at Michigan. I remember
had
a couple
88, 98, 98.
Was it 98?
Right. That was an honor of Tom Harmon from years and years ago.
Now on first down, the
Double
reverse here for
Can't
the
get the block.
Fredericks.
Oh, just
And getting
needed
tripped
one
up.
block. Wow, that was
Picked up 5 there on first down for Reginald Anderson.
That came right back to us, Pat, after that second flip. Here's the second flip and needed that one block. Couldn't quite get it, and Pursuit was able to get him down for a short gain.
Looked like Anderson might have gotten tripped up by his own teammate's back leg. He's trying to make a move.
Well, because you see all that field in front of you, and you just get a little anxious.
When you watch the NFL, and some of the best running backs are not necessarily the fastest guys, but the most patient runners.
Right, and they're under control, exactly. This first quarter flying by less than a minute to go as clock's running.
Fredericks looking to answer the touchdown from the Edwards, and we had some early movement.
Ball still live.
Handoff over the left side to Flores. He's got nowhere to go. And if they didn't whistle it dead, it's got to be offsides.
Yeah, penalty's going to. That'll actually save Frederick from what would have been a big loss.
Illegal formation. 5 men in the backfield on the offense.
On the Fredericks.
5-yard penalty. Repeating.
Which side, but apparently the formation
Second down.
is what the flag was for.
There's a trooper right there. Dedicated middle school football fan here in Boston.
Gotta be somebody's brother.
Or he's going to be on one of these teams next year.
I was there. It was a little cold, but I was there.
Yeah. Had 17 blankets on, but I was there. And it looks like the Fredericks calls a timeout here. 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
They want to straighten out that illegal formation.
We are waiting the official call on the last play. There was a penalty call. We're waiting for the call.
Illegal formation on the offense.
Legal procedure against Frederick. 5-yard penalty.
So there is.
Yeah,
so actually, the penalty was declined by the Edwards.
Because the live play was a loss. So it's going to end up with 3rd and about 9.
The play resumes. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Frederick started out this this drive pretty well, but sort of stalling after they've gotten past midfield.
Correction is 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 now for the Fredericks from the Edwards 33. Make that the Edwards 36.
They fumble the football.
And the quarterback going to try to keep it here on 3rd down. And Rivera picked up a couple on the busted play.
Well, I tell you, he probably got enough to let them go for it on 4th down here. It's going to be 4th and about 5. Yeah, they're going to let the clock run out for the first quarter. I'll give them a chance to think of a 4th down play.
And that is going to do the quarter here. Middle school football championship. Edwards on top thanks to the Bosby run right here from Juan. We'll see if Fredericks can answer right here in the 2nd quarter.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back to White Stadium, folks, here in Jamaica Plain for the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship as the Edwards leads the Fredericks 8-0 here in the start of the 2nd quarter. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can certainly check us out on Facebook at Game of the Week. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. As we start the 2nd quarter here at White Stadium, it is the Fredericks Panthers faced with a 4th down and 5.
And they're trying to get the yard marker set up. Okay.
So 4th and 5 now for the Fredericks. They got to get to the 27 for a 1st down. And they fake the reverse and then pitch it over the right side to
tackle.
Christian,
Wow.
but coming up with a tackle in the backfield for the Edwards.
He read the play really well.
Yeah, that was Alex Solano.
Solano came across in good shape, under control. Didn't get blocked, and seeing these you can tell these are the 2 of the best teams, Pat. You're seeing a lot of one-on-one plays. You're not seeing these guys running through arm tackles as much.
Ball will turn over on down. Edwards.
So the ball turns over on downs. Edwards now with the football at their own 32-yard line.
Disappointing for Frederick. They started that drive off really well. They had a couple of running plays going and just got bogged down, but the Edwards defense came alive.
I apologize. It's the 37-yard line. Make that the 38-yard line for the Edwards. Edwards with their first possession of the 2nd quarter. They had a touchdown drive in the 1st quarter.
Timeout. Edwards.
And now the Edwards going to call a timeout. I don't think John Rice liked the formation.
The formation, exactly. They both teams are having difficulties. And a lot of times early in the game,
Down and 10 for Edwards.
the kids are excited. The coaches understand these are younger kids, and even though they've had good seasons, there's a lot at stake. A championship is actually at stake for the winner of this game. So they're all hyped up. They're ready to go.
Yeah, this is what you've been playing all year for. You mentioned before, too, with this middle school side of things, that there's not as much practice time. There's also not as many games. So a lot of your teaching, especially at the younger levels, during games.
It's all condensed. And then the kids, I mean, they think they have it all, but when the coach goes back to something you learned in week 3, it's like, we're not quite sure. So.
So coming out of the timeout, the Edwards has the football. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line.
Tigers from their 38-yard line.
It was very impressive on their first drive.
And they pitch it over the right side here on first down. Nice move to get to the outside for the Edwards.
Basby again.
Juan Basby. Basby.
Yeah, I'm looking at
with a little bit of room.
Looking at the Edwards, they do have more 8th graders. But in fact, they have an entire team of 8th graders and 7th graders. As a matter of fact, there's only 7 7th graders. The rest of the guys are 8th graders.
And so you get a lot of guys with at least a little bit of middle school football experience.
They played some. You can tell how they're playing too. They're a little more under control.
Second down and 7 now for the Edwards from their own 41.
They have a nice combination. The Edwards does the runners because you get the quarterback Kilter who can run. We've seen Besby and we've seen Works.
Now on second down, they try the sweep over the left side of Basby. Juan Basby with some room down the sideline, past midfield into Fredericks territory.
Looked like the timing on that was off, but Quilter, the quarterback, just still made it work by getting a clean handoff to Basby. I'll tell you, for a young player, nice controlled runner. He's gets what he can.
So they mark Basby down at the 45. So a 14-yard pickup.
It's almost
there
like
for Basby.
It's almost like he has a change of pace when he runs because he's patient, but then when he sees an opening, he has a little bit of a burst.
Edwards with another first down. Now in Fredericks territory at the 45. And this time it's Works getting the carry. Works with a nice cut. Still on his feet down to the 30. So excellent run there from Works. Picks up 15 on the play.
Well, so far we're seeing Edwards just win the line of scrimmage. I mean, it works like you said. Doesn't even get touched till he's deep into the secondary. Finally gets knocked down by Rivera, who's the quarterback and a linebacker for Frederick. Frederick's got to show up that front line on the line of scrimmages. They're getting sort of moved around so far in the game. It's like 5.5 minutes to go before halftime, and this second drive is looking a lot like the first drive for Edwards.
Now from the 30, they hand off. This time to Works again over the right side. Works, he's got the edge inside the 15. Works wrestled down at the 11. And so a 19-yard run that time from Works.
What I liked about that the most is he had 2 good blocks, but he ran in between them, giving his teammates a chance to make clean blocks without penalties. Keeps the ball to the sideline, then is able to tuck it in as soon as the tacklers converge on him. Yeah, see, between those two guys, Basby and Brooks, they got something going. And unless Frederick can figure out, they'll have to bring the linebackers up, obviously, because they're really getting gassed between the tackles.
Edwards Eagles with 100 yards rushing already here midway through the second quarter, just 8 rushes.
This is only the second possession.
Now from the 11, first down, and it's Kilter. Going to take it himself on the quarterback keeper. Kilter inside the 5 down to the 4.
Made a nice move after he lost the football, was able to scoop it up, and then watch the move right here. Boom. He gets through that tackle. Like you said, dives inside the 5. He's down to about the 3, actually.
Reggie, man. Reggie, I need you to make a play, baby. Come on.
Yeah, the biggest difference so far in this first half, the line play. Edwards, their offensive linemen, are getting off the snap, creating something for all 3 of the runners behind them. Now you got Works next to Kilter.
Second down and 3 now for
and Besby. They're both back there.
The Edwards. They can get a first down if they get it to the 1-yard line, and we had some confusion on the formation because
Yeah.
Edwards is going to take a timeout here with 3:36 left to go in the second quarter.
What's funny is, I mean, the second time we've seen them call a timeout because of formation, but their basic stuff is working so well. It's like simple handoffs is what's working. I think John Rice just wants his kids to calm down. Listen, we have control of this game so far, and it's early. We have a chance to go up by 2 scores.
Your behind needs to be up here, literally.
Well, this could be huge for Edwards, going up 2 scores here just before the half.
And you got to remember, again, because of the youth of the players, these are, you know, young middle school kids. You got to think more about what's going to happen on the sideline for Frederick, how they're going to feel. I mean, they come into the game knowing they've had an excellent season, expecting to be champions, and in this first half so far, they've been outplayed so far by Edwards.
We mentioned in the open, too, that the Fredericks, they really feel like they're undefeated. I mean, with the way that they've played this year. And they kind of get sort of punched in the mouth here in the first half.
Well, see, it all plays into the emotion of the game in terms of getting ready. The coaches are over there. I see a couple of coaches for Frederick. They're a little frustrated that they're trying to just tell the kids to stay in your lanes and talking about their footwork on defense.
Well, as we said, Frederick with that one loss because of the disqualification. Meanwhile, Edwards, their one loss was to Irving. They beat Irving last week in the state's in the playoff semifinals to get here, so they avenged that loss to get to the city championship. Edwards now the 2nd and 3 from the 4-yard line. The handoff to Works. He's in for a touchdown.
I'd say it's more of the same. It's really simple offense.
So Kevin Works with the 4-yard touchdown plunge, and Edwards taking it to the Fredericks here in the first half.
14-0 lead.
Eagles will now try for a 2-point conversion. They were able to get it after their first touchdown of the game.
2-2.
Bossaby and Works in the backfield for the Edwards. Handoff to Works again. Off the edge, same play, same result. He finds the end zone. 16-0. The Edwards on top of the Fredericks here with 3.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Edwards just found something on this defensive left side of Frederick. Either they're spacing themselves wrong or they just they have a blocking advantage, because that was pretty easy for Works. Both the touchdown and the conversion.
So right now, if you're the Fredericks, 3:30 left to go here in the second quarter. You are hoping that you can put a nice drive together, maybe get up a score before halftime, because you also got to remember the Edwards gets the football to start the third quarter.
The way this is going, you're absolutely right, Pat. The Fredericks got to change something around. I mean, whether it means trying to get a good return on this kickoff, possibly going to the passing game. The wind seems, well, the wind is still here. It's still a factor. It's tough because as coaches with young players like this, you got to be careful to not sort of overreact and really try to change things around from what they've been doing successfully. But at the same time, what they've had been doing is not working right now. This Edwards team is just, like you said, all playing in the first half. Best thing that happens for Frederick is a good return right now. Something to get them excited. Last time they had a good return, they got excited, but they had the penalty and bring them back.
Back to receive again for the Fredericks is Flores. And this time it's a slow roller over to the 45. And the kick is corralled there from Jacob Gonzalez Mejia. So
that was a smart play, because he could have tried to wait for it to go out of bounds, but he had a defender bearing down on him, so he jumped on it, get possession, 45-yard line. 3:28 to go. Good place to start out. I think we may have a chance to see Jacob Revere's arm. They may decide to go to the air.
And they try to run the sweep with Flores, but he's unable to hang on to the handoff.
Wow.
And if you're Fredericks,
You can't
with the
have
way
that.
this is going, you might just want to get into
I'm
the
saying,
locker room.
everything's
at
going
halftime.
backwards. That was not a bad handoff. For some reason it slid out of his hand. Boy, it's going to be second down, about 16 now.
They mark the Fredericks down at the 37-yard line, so that was a 7-yard loss for the Fredericks.
8-yard loss on the last play.
Can't have those.
Flores recovered his own phone.
And second down
Another
and 18.
Wow. Rivera didn't get the snap cleanly. It was lucky to even keep possession.
We also have a flag on the play right around the line of scrimmage.
Now we're going to have a late hit. Wow, personal foul.
Oh, face mask on Edwards. This could be the break that
15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
If it's a penalty, we'll take it. I have to admit, I'm a little surprised at this start. I look at the teams, look at the rosters. You really think it's really even. It's right. You really think it's going to be even, but it's been all Edwards so far.
That penalty was against Edwards, bringing the ball to the 50-yard line.
So Edwards now at Fredericks now at midfield on first down, handoff left side. Now we got a hole for Christian. Tashari Christian down the sideline, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 21. And that's the big play that Fredericks needed.
That's the first time they were able to get that corner. Somehow they had the Edwards defense bunched into the middle. Like you said, gets out to the sideline. Finally gets run down by the safety, Holmes, Manny Holmes. Now they can take a deep breath and say, we're in the game. This is what we're used to doing.
Positivity. So now first down for Fredericks from the Edwards 22. Handoff again to Christian, and he makes his way inside the 20 down to the 17.
They have time. Minute and a half to go before halftime. They get time to get in the end zone.
5-yard pickup there on first down.
Nice slashing run.
Now it's the quarterback. It looked like he
lost
bobbled the snap there and just tried to pick up a yard or two.
It was supposed to be a handoff. He couldn't chance the handoff after he lost the football.
So maybe a gain of a yard there for Rivera.
They may want to use a timeout to get themselves situated. We're going under a minute now. Third and about, let's call it a long 4.
Now on third down, Fredericks pitching it over the left side. Christian
nice cut.
Makes a cut and is brought down at the 13.
See how close he is. Lost the ball? Yeah, he lost the football.
The football came out.
He slipped right there.
Yeah, he did. He got it pulled away. It didn't pop out. It just got pulled away. What a play by Works.
Works just stole the ball as he's making a tackle.
Great play there by Works. That's a backbreaker for the Fredericks.
It really is. I mean, all Edwards has to do now is kill 40 seconds. They go into halftime up 2 scores.
At the 13-yard line, first down and 10 for Edwards from their 13-yard line following the turnover.
Really smart play by Works.
And Works just pulled it away. I thought I didn't see the ball pop out, but he
just pulled it away.
It was almost like they were doing a handoff. He just pulled it right out of the arms of Tashari Christian. It's too bad Christian was having a nice drive there, making his way into the red zone.
He got his team in scoring position. I'd say Frederick got a lot to talk about at halftime. On both sides of the ball, really. Those runs by Christian sort of opened up their offense a little bit, but defensively it's been a tough half.
Omar Kilter now out of the shotgun for the Edwards on first down. The handoff to Works. Works slips a tackle, and then he's brought down at the 17.
I think at this point, Frederick's willing to just let the clock run out. Try to regroup it in the locker room.
Pick up a 5 on the play.
10 seconds left to go before the half. I think Coach Rice is just going to let it.
Yeah, they're going to let it run out.
Run out. And I don't blame them. 16-0 lead at the half here for the Edwards Eagles. As they have had a phenomenal first half, really controlling both sides of the football. They lead the Fredericks 16-0 at the half of the 2016 Middle School City Championship. And
very impressive fashion. Very impressive. I'll tell you. Then, yeah, we both were talking about before the game. It looked really even. Nice game. Should go up and down. It'll be a matter of whether defense can keep the scoring down or not. But Edwards just came out and, like you said, both sides of the football controlled the entire first half. So Frederick got a lot to talk about. I think mainly defensively, obviously, because you're talking about an Edwards team had the ball twice the first half, scored 2 touchdowns plus two two-point conversions.
Without question. Also, ball security. They had a couple of fumbles lost there in the first half. That one especially that killed that drive.
I mean, Frederick had the chance. It looked like they were close. That last run put them inside the 20-yard line, had a good chance to get a possible touchdown before halftime. And instead, the turnover makes it still a shutout.
Well, Frederick's coach Arrington is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Ryan Provencher. Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Coach Arrington from Frederick. Coach, now you've had a lot of success this season. What are you seeing now after this tough first half out of your team that maybe you need to go in there in the locker room and tell them to improve on?
Absolutely. I think they're playing a little bit flat, not as high energy. So I think we're going to come out the second half looking like a new team, trying to motivate them in the locker room, come out, switch things up a little bit because we realize our game plan isn't working. We're going to make the necessary adjustments so we can come out and try to level the playing field.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like you guys are a couple timeouts there. You're pulling your defensive line aside. There's definitely been a few holes there that they've been utilizing for their running backs. What's the best thing you can tell them to close up those holes?
To close up the holes is they have to be ready. They have to be prepared. Stop playing flat and get off those hills and stay on the top of our toes so therefore we can expect the O-line that's coming at us.
Yeah. And do you anticipate maybe passing the ball a little bit more in the second half?
Absolutely. Definitely have to balance it out because I think they're used to us running it. They're just sitting. Their secondary is getting a little comfortable. So I think now's the time to switch things up and, throw some plays they haven't seen from the first half.
Great. Well, good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Coach Arrington, pretty positive despite the struggles there in the first half. It seems like he's got a plan for this halftime.
Well, there's no doubt. Just like he was telling Ryan. Clearly, this first discussion is defensively. Like you said, get off your heels and stop being more aggressive, getting across the line of scrimmage. Don't let the blockers engage you so that they're creating spaces. Then on offense, again, no surprise. Let's go to the air. I mean, they have Rivera out there, and during the season, he's been able to throw the football. Conditions are a little different with the cold weather, but when you're down like they are now, 16-0, just like you said, you got to change things up because the original game plan was to run the ball and try to control the clock.
Right.
It's not working. You've got to come back.
Without question, and certainly the Edwards has controlled the football here in the first half, and Frederick's got to stop them first because the Edwards will get the ball to start the first start of the third quarter. So the Fredericks got to make some defensive adjustments to start off. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we will have the halftime stats and some highlights from the first half just before we start the third quarter. Make sure you stick around here at White Stadium.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow. Oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo. is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain at halftime of the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship. The Edwards leads the Fredericks 16-0. And Alan, the Edwards, their ground game was just very lethal there in the first half.
They controlled the entire first half. And let's not take away from the defense, too.
Sure.
They shut out Frederick. That play by Works to basically steal the football and create a turnover.
That was a great play.
Great play because that was the best opportunity Fredericks had to get into the end zone to make it a one-score game. So big plays, and like you mentioned a couple of times, Edwards gets the ball to start the second half. Key, because Fredericks has not stopped them yet.
We'll see what they do defensively. Let's take a look at the halftime stats here at the City BPS Middle School Football Championships, and it's just been those two guys.
Well, yeah, they haven't even thrown a pass yet. So 9 carries basically, and what's that, 85 yards between Christian and Casey. That's all it's been. But like the head coach said for Frederick, they're definitely going to put the ball in the air in the second half.
Well, let's take a look at the Edwards stats.
Edwards very similar. Works and Basby, those two guys have been amazing with their second and third efforts. You have Works with 52 yards on 6 carries with a touchdown, and then Basby with the 3 carries, 42 yards. He had, and a touchdown also. He had the first touchdown. That was a really impressive run for him, and under control behind his blockers, allowing his teammates to create space for him. Got it into the end zone to get that first score.
Both those guys were excellent in the first half, but Works was the one who really led the team, and especially on that second drive. We got some highlights of him from the first half.
He plays both sides of the field. There you see. Second and third effort, he gets outside on this one, tries to hit the sideline. Has a little spin move, adds another 5 yards. Here he's very patient, allows his blockers to open some space for him. Right here, this is the touchdown. And then the exact same play was the extra point. That was the play we talked about at the end. He stole the football from Christian, created a turnover, gave the ball to his offense, let them run the clock out with a 16-0 lead at halftime.
Yeah, as good as he was rushing the football there in the first half, that was probably his best play.
Yeah, exactly, right. And it's funny, too, because Coach John Brett probably told him the same thing. He's thinking about his touchdown. Right. And they said, well, listen, the fact that you stopped what was their only drive of the first half is just as important.
And we talked about how the Fredericks, they like to use a lot of different formations, a lot of different offensive sets. And
we're going to see it all
Ryan
now.
talked to Coach Arrington.
We're going to see it all now.
They're going to throw the football here, probably in the third quarter, depending on when they get the ball back.
Well,
but first and foremost, like you said, they got to make a stop defensively.
They haven't done it yet. Edwards had the ball twice. Too long. Well, the first one was a short scoring drive. The second one was a longer scoring drive. And unless Fredericks can stop him, this might be an easy game for Edwards.
We're just about ready to start the third quarter here at White Stadium. As we mentioned, the Fredericks will be kicking off to the Edwards to get going here in the third.
I'm just thinking that first half, again, we talk about the differences between high school players and middle school players, and one of the differences, I think, and we saw that play out in the first half, is that you just never know how your team is going to respond when they have some adversity. And for Frederick, there's a lot of frustration out there that they couldn't stop Edwards' running game. And then on the other side of the ball, Frederick got frustrated because they couldn't really do a lot until the very end of the half.
They still wait for the chains. As everybody was inside White Stadium.
They got to find some new. I think they have some young ladies who are going to help out now. Yeah. They got 3 young ladies now who are going to take over the chain gang.
You're looking at the boys saying, "You guys don't want to do this? We'd be happy to." They always say in middle school that the females are much more mature at that time than the males
well,
are.
They
I think
also
you're seeing that right now.
They're more coachable. Well, the linesman's going to find that out in a minute.
Well, if they want to play basketball at Fenway High School, they're going to be right next to Coach Rice over there.
That's
so
right.
maybe that's a good spot to be.
Yeah. It's funny because those 3 young ladies actually came to us want to know when the game was on.
Yeah, they were more interested in the players were.
Exactly. And
well,
so
good
now,
for them.
Now they've volunteered to do the sticks.
Squib kick up the middle of the field for the Fredericks, and Basabe has to field it right around the 15. He's got a nice seam there, but then he's corralled at the 23. And the Fredericks needed that to open up the quarter.
Well, you definitely see some excitement. You see Badgeby had a hard time finally corralling it, but was able to get at least 10 yards back before he gets gang tackled.
So 1st and 10 for the Edwards from their own 23. And that whole first half, they went to Basabe and Kevin Works.
And then Quilter had a couple of runs stuck in there. See, when you look at it, it's like a 3-headed monster because the quarterback is very capable of tucking it under himself.
Now on 1st down, they got Works in the backfield. And they run the reverse to Basabe.
Oh, wow.
He's got some space over the left side.
Nice block, too.
Juan Basabe cuts it back up the middle. What a run by Basabe into Fredericks territory, and he's dragged down right around.
Back here. But I think what I thought was a good block is going to make it call back. I think I spoke too soon. Well, now watch the reverse. There's a block top of your screen to the right. You'll see. Actually, I missed it, but it happened right as he was cutting down the sideline. So it is going to all come back.
And that's huge for the Fredericks there.
Block in the back.
Another big play.
On the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeating first down.
This Fredericks defense is feeling, well, we got a chance. A 54-yard jaunt by Badgeby is wiped out by the penalty. And they'll lose some yardage because obviously the penalty was during the run. John, right? So he's actually smiling because he knows even without the penalty, they're right in scoring position again. They ran that reverse twice, and the first time didn't break open as big as that one, but I think they anticipated the Fredericks defense being far more aggressive. So if you get a team to chase a fake, obviously the field can open up for you.
We saw in that first Township game there were some fumbles on some exchanges. So far here for Edwards with all these reverses, they've been very clean. Now on 1st down, it's Kilter showing off his running skills as he is dragged down right around the 30. So that'll be a 3rd down and short yardage for Edwards.
We have some of the Fredericks faithful over here trying to make some noise for their team.
5 on the play, 2nd and 3. Anderson on his last tackle.
Second down and 3 now for the Edwards. And then we have a bobble of a snap in the backfield, and Basabe's, Works is tackled for a loss. Flores getting in there.
Yeah, huge loss that time. That's probably the best defensive play that Fredericks made all game.
That was caused by pressure up the middle.
Yeah, pressure up the middle caused the bobble. And then nice one-on-one job on the tackle by Flores.
Bringing up a 3rd and 11.
So 3rd and 12 now for the Edwards, as they are backed up to their own 22-yard line. Now it's Kilter going to take it himself on the quarterback keeper and picks up some yardage. Brought down at the 27-yard line. Make that the 28.
Well, you got the break Fredericks did when that block on the back on that huge run on the first down play, but give them credit, they were able to sort of recover, and now they're forcing a 4th down at about, this is 4th and about 6.
We'll see what the Fredericks does here. Is
they're sending 3 guys back to return this punt that they're anticipating.
Bad snap, but works with an end-over-end kick that goes out of bounds, short of midfield. So the Fredericks will have very good field position for their first offensive possession of the 3rd quarter. And this is when you got to think the Fredericks are saying, "Come on here, come on."
If you're ever going to get it going, that's right. If you're ever going to get it going, it's got to be right here. Almost half of this quarter's gone, even though they actually played well defensively. That one big play, and they can always think, well, it wasn't for that bad block, he wouldn't have run that far. That's how you rationalize it. But right now, it's all about their offense.
Make that their 46-yard line.
So the Fredericks take over at the Edwards 49-yard line. On 1st down, they hand off to Tashari Christian. Christian fumbles the football again.
Oh, wow.
Did the Edwards recover?
Yep.
Yes, they did.
Got to feel bad for him because he was just about to step outside with a nice run. That was Amir Johnson. Well, he had the ball in the wrong hand.
Yeah, that's something that
Johnson,
his coaches are going to talk to him about.
They both dove for it, but Johnson just I guess outdove him because he came up with the ball, and now Edwards is back in business. That's that same slant play they run successfully to end the first half.
Well, one thing the Fredericks could point to now that they couldn't point to in the first half is, hey, we just came up with a big stop.
It's a big stop.
We just got to have to do this again.
They actually had a nice run, but they had the ball pop out. No, you're right. They know they can play defense now. That's the key. I mean, they weren't getting pushed around. That was an amazing run by Besby with the illegal block, but 55 yards, and that was a lot of individual effort. But after that, you're right. The rest of that sequence, Frederick did a good job. Now Edwards going to take a timeout before they get called for delay of game.
I think Coach Rice knows, obviously, if they can put together a drive and score here, that could be it.
Well, I'll tell you, I think if they put together a drive that kills most of the rest of the third quarter, even if they score or not, that's going to put Fredericks in a real bad position. Because again, let's not forget, Edwards is playing good defense. It's not as if they're so afraid of Frederick getting the ball back. I mean, now Edwards, if they can keep the ball, grind it up, like you said, if they get another score, I do think that'll be it. But if Frederick can hang in, get the ball back, and then control the ball, I mean, the last 2 possessions to end the half and now to start this third quarter, they fumbled the ball.
The tough part about it, too, is it's probably their best running back that's
I was just going to say, Christian.
You're still going to give him Tashari the ball.
You've got to give it to him. You've got to.
Because he can make plays. We've seen him do it.
That's it. You're right. That's the dilemma you have. I mean, because it's a deceiving play. It's a simple slant play to the left. He sort of picks whether he's going to cut into the middle or keep going to the sideline, and he's had more success just going to the sideline. He had a big run right before halftime, but you're right. If he's your best runner, you've got to keep feeding him.
So the Edwards now on first down from their own 45-yard line. The pitcher right to Bosby. He tries to make a move, and he does. Bosby down the sideline. He fumbles it out of bounds, but Edwards has it at the Fredericks 40. 15-yard pickup from Bosby.
I'll tell you, those are two good runners. Nice under control. Gets to the sideline. Knows doesn't have much room. Ball's knocked away, but like you said, out of bounds.
You get a nice combination there from Works and Bosby. Works is sort of the every down between the tackles
Yeah, he can
runner.
go between the tackles, right.
Bosby's that slithery outside runner.
And I'd say he has it's almost like he has another gear. Even as young, he's an 8th grader. Don't talk about him switching gears.
I know. He runs a 4.6 at the combine.
I'll tell you, it's amazing. But
it's great.
It's fun, and thinking back to the last few years. I mean, some of the most fun we've had with these games is the middle school basketball and the middle school football.
Oh, without question.
They've been to see the young players. It's almost as if they develop during the course of a game. And then the Edwards right now, I can't imagine how their preparation was much different from Fredericks, but they're just coming out playing so much better.
You mentioned we're talking about games previously. I went back and looked at some of the highlights from the 2012 middle school championship because the 8th graders that year are seniors in high school now, and you're hearing the Stefan Anderson,
that's right,
Jeff Benzin, Jordan Pimentel, all those guys.
Oh,
nice job in the backfield. Flores coming up with a big tackle.
Now that's the kind of thing you need. You hear the sideline for Frederick getting into the game. Watch Flores.
That's a great play. Loss of 5 for Edwards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 15 from the Fredericks 45.
Now everything for Edwards has been running. Frederick may want to think about a run blitz on this one because give him a better chance to possibly force another loss. So they got to get the ball back. I mean, we got 3.5 minutes to go before the end of the 3rd quarter. They just can't afford to let Edwards kill the clock.
Second and 15 from the 45. Kilter now on the quarterback keeper. He's wrapped up.
They came out just like I was saying. They all stuck around the line of scrimmage. Edwin Casey, 18, came across and was able to be the first one to get Kilter. That's exactly the kind of play they had to have.
Yedu Charles also in there on the stop for the tackle for loss. It's another loss on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 17 now for the Edwards from the Fredericks 47-yard line.
And the key is that still got 2:40 to go before the quarter, so this is a big play right here. Not sure if John Wright will want to go for it on 4th down if he's facing more than 10.
Now Kilter going to take it himself.
Safe place. Then Fredericks just got to make the stop.
Moving the pile past the 40. And they finally blow the whistle. Kilter.
That's exactly what happened. Watch this replay play. He stopped after 4 yards, but like you said, moving the pile.
Kilter fell hard to the ground. He's still on the turf. When Kilter was brought down there, his head slammed hard against the ground. As they attend to Kilter, folks, we're going to take a break. as the Edwards still lead the Fredericks 16-0 here with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. We're at the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship. Right now, the Edwards leads the Fredericks 16-0. The concern right now is for Edwards quarterback Omar Kilter, who was down on the turf. He got brought down hard after that last running play. Our sideline reporter, Ryan Provencher's got an update for us. Ryan, what do you have down there?
Thank you, guys. Edwards player down the field right now. Looks like he might be getting up. But for Edwards, it's really been a three-headed monster on the ground. Kilter, Baspe, works over 150 yards on the ground right there. That's why they're up 16-0. However, it does look like Frederick is actually making an attempt at stopping the run game. They've had a few tackles out in the backfield now. It looks like they're trying to be a little bit Edwards is being a little bit too predictable, it looks like, with the running game. It looks like Frederick is starting to figure out the linebackers are getting good jumps. They're sniffing out the run, and it looks like they're playing better defense overall. They just got to get a score on the board, and then it'll be a closer game. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Good to see Kilter go off the field under his own power. Looks like he'll be back after this play. But as Ryan mentioned, Fredericks cheating up to the line of scrimmage a little bit. And Alan, you mentioned a couple plays ago where they sent their linebacker.
They got to take the chance. Got to sell out on this because they got to get the ball back.
4th and 8 now for the Edwards. And it's going to be Bosby on the keeper. He's got some room. Nice cut by Bosby. He's got a first down and more down to the 26.
Middle school football, go for it on 4th down. Unless you're really deep, and especially when you get at Bosby, he's been amazing.
On that play, he just planted his foot in the ground and went. And coming up on under a minute to go here in the third quarter.
Okay, this is what Frederick really didn't want to have happen. I mean, they haven't given up a score, but they've pretty much lost the entire quarter.
And like you said, Alan, this could bleed into the fourth quarter here for Edwards now. That's when the Fredericks are really going to be running out of chances. Even if the Edwards doesn't score, as you said.
It's all about time. Yes, you see on the top there, seconds ticking off.
Edwards with the football at the 26 now on first down.
It's going to be a delay of game penalty.
Game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
So
repeating
Edwards
first down.
Gets flagged for a delay of game. That'll back them up 5.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
They can let the clock run out, actually.
Yeah, the Edwards is going to let it go down to the end of the third quarter. And after 3 here at White Stadium at the BPS Middle School Football City Championship, the Edwards 16 and the Fredericks Panthers zip. Make sure you stick around for the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be. Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again.
Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship. Right now the Edwards Eagles lead the Fredericks Panthers 16-0. We're just about ready to start the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, certainly you can check us out at Facebook. It's Game of the Week at Facebook. We got a lot of different pictures, videos, information up there. Make sure you like us on Facebook and also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. The Edwards Eagles with the football at the 31-yard line of Fredericks. They're faced with the 1st and 15. Start the fourth quarter. As we said, it's not about the score right now for the Edwards. It's about the clock. If they can grind this down at least halfway through the fourth quarter, that could be it. Good to see Omar Kilter back in there at quarterback for the Eagles on first down. The handoff to Works. And Kevin Works with a short gain. Might have picked up 4. Make that 5. He made his way to the 26-yard line.
He got back the yardage from the delay of game penalty. As you can see, the Edwards team being, even as young as they are, being very deliberate, knowing that that clock is winding down on every running play, bleeding out those seconds before they snap the ball again.
Eagles now faced with a 2nd down and 10 from the Fredericks 21-yard line. Again, it's Works, the deep back. They hand it off to Works. This time he tries to bounce it to the outside. Good nice form tackle.
Nice 1-and-1
by the Kendricks.
Tell you.
And that was Edwin Casey.
One of the 7th graders. 7th grade linebacker. Casey came across in good shape. Got the waist. And
Works is banged up.
I'd say one of the few times we've seen Works go down with one tackler.
Yeah, I think Works might have twisted his ankle on that play. Not sure if we can get a replay of that, guys, but Works looks like he twisted his ankle.
He did go down awkwardly. Big play for Frederick right here. 3rd down. There's the replay. So we'll see him go down.
You see Works awkwardly. There you see his ankle sort of bend in a strange way. So 3-yard loss on that play. 3rd down and 13 now for the Edwards.
Huge play for the Frederick defense. They've got to get a stop here. It's 4-down territory anyway, but Frederick's got to stop with this one.
Kilter pitching it to Bosby. He makes a nice cut. Bosby then wrestled down right around the 26-yard line.
Flag for some reason. A dead ball foul on someone. That was a nice tackle by Frederick. Let's see what the call is. You got to think something was said because the play was over. Busby was definitely down.
Coach, 4th and 10 or 3rd and 23? Want to decline it? Thank you. Okay. 4th and 10. Holding on the offense.
There's a hold on
that
the
penalty is declined.
So the Kendricks
4th down.
Will decline that penalty.
So make it 4th down and 10. Now it's the big play. You got to stop. You got to get the ball back. So this is your chance to get the ball back. Just prevent a 4th and 10.
So 4th and 10 now for the Edwards Eagles. Kilter, the lone back in the backfield, going to take it himself on the quarterback keeper. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's very close to the 1st down marker. They're going to whistle him down, but he's short.
Yeah. But we saw that move the pile again. Like you said, he got himself very close. Once he cuts inside here, has that momentum going forward. good leg strength, but Frederick were able to stand them up and force the whistle to kill the play. And now it's about Frederick, 5:22 to go in the game. It's about them trying to get the ball in the air.
We haven't seen Rivera go to the air at all here this evening, but he's going to have to here with 5:22 left to go. Frederick's down by 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. First things first here.
The football, wow. Bad snap. Well, I don't know if it was a bad snap. He just didn't get it cleanly.
You got to wonder if this cold weather is really starting to affect the center quarterback exchange.
Well,
last week, all the middle school teams who played football
in the rain,
in the semifinals last Tuesday, it was sloppy and rainy and not this cold, but certainly not great conditions either. Now on second down, another not great snap. Flores just has to pounce on it.
This is really falling apart for Frederick.
You wonder if they should just go to like a shotgun snap.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but maybe that's not what their style is. Because that can be difficult too. If you're trying something new,
or if you're not getting a good grip on the ball.
If you're not used to it, then it's that can be risky.
So Fredericks calls a timeout here with 4:40 left to go in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 10. Certainly, they're going to go for it on fourth.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But the tough part for Fredericks is they know they have the big play ability. They just got to get out of their own way to execute a play.
Yeah, they really have been shooting themselves in the foot for the majority of this game.
I mean, give Edwards credit. That team right there, they've played good defense, but they've also been helped by the fact that Fredericks had a bunch of miscues and those really important fumble turnovers.
.440 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 10 for the Fredericks Middle School. They have to convert a first down and try to put a drive together in a hurry.
They need a really big play. They've got to flip the field quick.
Now Tashari Christian, the lone back in the backfield. Flores in motion. And Flores trying to get around the edge on the left side. Has a blocker. Flores gets a first down and more. He
goes out of bounds.
Tackled at the 31. That's a first down for the Fredericks.
On the few times they had that end around work, Flores got a nice block from Christian, and then 14-yard pickup. And out of bounds, clock stopped. Stopping the first down. Now they
run the same play from the other side. Flores this time with some space up the middle, but he got drilled right around the 35, so just a 4-yard pickup.
Now, I'm not sure why they're not throwing the football. This is I know if the fans over here is pretty frustrating. There were Fredericks fans watching.
Flores on the carry.
Second down to 6 now for the Fredericks. Under 4 minutes left to go. They faked the sweep, and then they gave it to Tashari Christian, who picks up 4. Tashari had both hands on the football on that carry.
Well, they've just got to be faster in and out of after each play, getting ready for the next play. They're really running out of time. You see, again, Edwards still tackling well.
And they bobble the snap. This time it's fumbled, and Fredericks does recover. Christian was able to pounce on it, but
big loss.
Monster loss. The 3rd and 1 is now a third
and it's going to be like 3rd and 15.
Time continues to run out.
I was just going to say, classic case of a team just hurting themselves. I mean, it's good defense by Edwards, but they had the nice plays. They had the 2 back-to-back runs to put them in decent position. You know, Denzel Flores was able to gain some yardage. Another fumble.
Another fumble. And this, I'm starting to notice that up front there for the Edwards, big number 78. We don't have listed on the roster, but he's done a heck of a job up the middle, the nose tackle, getting some pressure and probably causing some disruption just on the snap.
Well, it's got to be because there's no, you very seldom see 3. There he is right there. You're right. With that size of his, you very seldom see 3 bad snaps in a row.
Right.
He must be saying something to the center. Because I'd say it's unusual. It really is. Edwards can just run this out the last 2.5 minutes. I mean, they earned the game. The fact of the matter is Frederick did more damage to themselves than they did to the Edwards. But even beyond that, the Edwards played well when they needed to. They put together good drives. They got stopped like one time in the game.
So the Edwards will take over at the 21-yard line with 2:31 left to go here in the 4th. And Bossaby gets wrestled down in the backfield by Deshari Christian. Excuse me, that was Edwin Casey. Or was that Rivera?
It's Rivera, yeah. So
that was Rivera.
There's some frustrated, very frustrated players for Frederick. They know they're a better team than this. There's no way in the world they ever thought they would be shut out in the championship game.
And now the Fredericks takes a timeout here with 2:03 left to go. So the Edwards, barring any type of craziness that happens in these last 2:15,
you're right.
Should go on to win the city championship.
Yeah, as controlled as Edwards has been the whole game, I don't see any way that they're gonna do anything to even give Frederick a chance at a score. They're already deep in Frederick territory. They've been running the ball the entire game. They've been running between the tackles. They've been running outside. The double reverse they used both times got them first downs.
It almost seems like the Edwards came in today and said, we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to execute it well,
right. And
you're going to have to try and stop us.
I think that's exactly what they probably talked about. And then at halftime, John Rice could simply say, guys, it's working. So we're going to do the same thing in the second half.
2nd and 16 now, and Kilter trying to make a couple of moves. And he's going to go down right around the 23.
But he stayed in bounds, which is the main thing he wanted to do. He'll force Frederick to take another timeout if they want to stop the clock. Good tackle by Qualls on that play. You just got to wonder where this was earlier. I mean, now you're seeing a far more conservative Edwards offense, but still, the Fredericks defense is they're making plays.
Yeah, you wonder if the Fredericks defense should have maybe taken some chances earlier in the game, maybe even in the first half.
Edwards didn't throw a pass the whole game. So, I mean, now, no one knows that's going to happen, obviously, coming in, but still. Once they were, well, Ryan mentioned it in the third quarter, the fact that the Frederick defense had changed some, that the linebackers are coming right up to the line of scrimmage and pretty much daring Edwards to throw the ball, but they still refused to throw it, kept running it, and they've kept control.
So 3rd and 16 now for the Edwards coming out of the timeout. 2:03 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
It will be 3rd down and 23 yards to go for the Edwards Tigers.
I believe the Fredericks are now out of timeouts. So first down here would do it for the Edwards. And Bosby is wrapped up in the backfield after getting the direct snap. So he loses yardage.
Flores on the tackle.
This is just simple, not going to lose the football. Actually, almost had it pop out there, but the 3-yard loss doesn't really mean much.
Bringing up 4th and 25.
So 4th down and 25 for Edwards. They'll take another delay game penalty here, just to.
You see head coach John Rice, certainly no stranger to championships. Won a lot of city titles and state titles as the Jeremiah Burke girls basketball coach, and now his reign as the Fenway girls basketball coach. He's been very successful over the past 6 or 7 years there. And now as the Edwards
they take a
football
timeout.
coach.
They took a timeout to prevent the penalty. Yeah.
Timeout called by Edwards.
So 1:02 left to go here in the 4th quarter. We talk about Edwards and how they've executed offensively. A lot of guys getting a lot of touches. Those 3 guys, the quarterback, the 2 running backs, pretty spread across evenly, getting carries and getting some opportunities.
Yeah, 28 carries in total, split up 10, 9, and 9. So talk about a 3-headed monster. That's exactly what they had, because they never threw the football. They never even fake throwing the football. I mean, they just handed out. They had those double reverses. They had the wide pitch a couple of times, but good individual runners. It's too bad that you had that little ankle injury with Works in the last
He's
series.
had a heck of a game. Well, last season, the Orenburger defeated the Edwards in the city championship 14-6. And in the previous years, the Edwards lost the township in 2014 and also lost the township in 2012. So the Edwards hasn't
This
won.
is one of those things that finally, huh?
Right, it's been a while. They got very close last year, and it looks like they're going to get it again this year, or finally get that title this season. We had a pre-snap penalty here on, I believe, the Edwards.
Another penalty. It's going to be a dead ball foul here.
Delay of game.
First.
Delay of game against Edwards.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Yeah.
Fourth down and 30 to go for Edwards.
They're trying to change the time on the clock here to 1:07.
Well, you get the lineman saying 1:07, didn't you? But the referee's saying to wind the clock. So I think everybody's cold.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of confusion out here.
And Edwards punting the football. And it'll trickle down to the 13-yard line.
So last gasp for Frederick to have a chance to at least score. I mean,
Yeah, you never want to get shut out in a championship game.
I mean, especially when you come in, there's no way they expected this to happen.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
15-yard penalty for interference on Edwards. So that'll give Edwards 15 yards. Move the ball to, what, the 31-yard line.
So now the Fredericks will get the football at the 31-yard line. Minute 7 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, they are going to go to shotgun.
three backs in the backfield. Rivera out of the shotgun. Looking to throw down the middle of the field. Has a receiver. It's intercepted. Picked off by number 36 of the Edwards, Henry Antunes.
Yeah, Edwin Casey had a frustration tackle there. So, like you said, try to get the ball deep downfield. First pass of the game is just underthrown. His receiver actually did get behind the safety. That was.
And that should do it for the Edwards here with 49 seconds left. They will be the 2016 BPS Middle School Football Champions. As we mentioned, a couple of losses in the township last couple of years, and then last year they lost a close one to the Orenburger in the city
game.
championship, 14-6
right. Yeah.
over at Harvard.
Oh, they can kneel down now.
And I think they'll probably just have to do it one more time, and then that'll be it here at White Stadium. So the Edwards Eagles.
I'll tell you, well deserved.
Yeah, controlling the game throughout.
You go back to that first half, total control. So the second half, and then defensively for the second half, they just made it so they didn't have to do anything else.
So the Edwards kneels on it one more time, and that is going to do it. The Edwards Eagles are the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Champions here at White Stadium. Well, you know these guys, after losing a close one last year, they're loving the fact that they won it this year.
Think of the eighth graders. The eighth graders who, like you just read off, lost a tough one last year. Then 2 years ago, as sixth graders, a few of them may have been involved. So to finally sort of get over the hump.
That's right.
And in good fashion. That was impressive fashion to shut out this Frederick team who had such a really good season.
That's right.
I mean, if you're on the Frederick sideline right now, you, as a coach or a player, I'm not sure what's worse. Okay, losing is bad enough, but to be shut out in the championship game?
Sure.
I mean, so they, both those things are probably really weighing on their minds right now. What went so wrong? But
yeah, I mean, you got to think with the Fredericks right now, they're even looking at themselves like, what just happened? I mean, that just happened so quickly where they just were like, they didn't score any points. They only
came close once.
Right.
They came close once. Then Works had a defensive play where he stole the ball right before the end of the half. So, yeah, you're right. I think what you just said is exactly what they're going through. It's like, we came all this way and. Goose egg?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
That's something that they, I'm sure, never expected. But certainly the Edwards with a fantastic performance here tonight. They are your 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Champions. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the final stats from this ball game in an interview with the MVP and the game-winning coach right after these words. Don't go away.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, bro. Oh, look at the rain. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions.
Good luck, big guy.
His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. At the conclusion of game of the week, the Edwards Eagles take down the Fredericks Panthers 16-0 in the 2016 BPS Middle School Football City Championship. And as we talked about before we went to break, the Edwards are very close after the last couple of years to win either the Township or the City Championship. Last year they came within one score of winning the City Championship, so you knew that they were chomping at the bit to get back here this season, and certainly you saw after the celebration on the sideline, this is what they wanted.
Exactly, and it started from the opening kickoff. I mean, they kicked the game off, they played defense, forced a 3-and-out, they got the ball, scored right away, and they were off and running. So in reality, the game was decided in the first half when you look at it, because the second half was just a matter of managing and killing the clock. So Edwards, well-deserving champions there. They outplayed Frederick on both sides of the football, and they actually forced Frederick to make some mistakes.
That's right.
All right, and then Frederick, had their own penalties and some bad turnovers, but overall, it was clearly deserved this because they outplayed the opponent.
One player that has a ton of dynamic plays out there was the running back for the Edwards, Juan Bosby. He is down on the field with our sideline reporter Ryan Provencher and the game-winning coach John Rice. So Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with the game MVP, Juan Basabe. Juan now 60 rushing yards and that big touchdown opening up there in the first quarter. You guys got off to a good lead, 16-point lead going into the halftime. How did it feel throughout this entire game, feeling comfortable with that lead and in such a big stage?
I don't even know. I feel through the first game, and now I think we pushed ourselves very hard to get here, and I don't know, I'm just surprised, man.
Yeah. What can you say has been your biggest improvement throughout this entire season? It's been such a successful season for you. And now, I mean, at the pinnacle here, you got the championship. What's been your biggest improvement?
Improving? I don't even know. I think because last year, I didn't get to play. And so this year I get to play, and that improved me to get better, get more touchdowns, more yards, and show, what I'm about. And yeah, that's all.
What can you say about this team?
This team, I love this team so much, man. I just love them, man.
Great, well, great game. Congratulations, man. Coach, you're used to these interviews now. You've had a lot of success in your coaching career, football, basketball now. This program, it's the third time champions. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm co-coaches with Coach Bobby Hoyle, who does a fantastic job defensively. I'm in charge of the offense, so we're co-coaches, but this is right at the top. Our first championship was just an extreme thriller, but I'm so proud of these young men. And I was telling Avery, the AD, it's more fun on the middle school level than high school. I mean, it's just more fun. This is a great game. Can't get any better playing at White Stadium, and can't wait to celebrate with my coach. Who just drew up a great defensive plan for us. She pitched a shutout.
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask you, what did you see from your team defensively? I mean, you were at the helm there. What did you like from them tonight?
They're hot. They weren't afraid. Frederick was a little bigger, but they made the tackles. They weren't afraid to go after it.
Well, congratulations, all of you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Again.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Certainly a team effort on both the coaching side and the players' side for the Edwards here tonight. Bosby, he made some really dynamic runs. We talked about Works, who he was sort of the grinder, but Bosby, once he got out in open space, he planted his foot and just went.
Well, there are two huge plays other than the touchdown. Beside the touchdown, actually, they decided to go for it on the fourth down, like John Rice said, he's the offensive coach. Had the confidence to go on fourth down, but they're both 4th and long. One was like a 4th and 13. The other one was like a 4th and 9. Both plays were handoffs to Bosby. He made both first downs.
That's right.
So you keep the ball, kill more clock. Before you know it, that 16 points from the first half is enough to easily win the game.
Without question, we certainly very impressive win here tonight for the Edwards. Let's take a look at the final stats from this game before we sign off for the night from White Stadium. And first up, it's the Fredericks.
Yeah, for Fredericks, unfortunately, nothing receiving at all in the bottom of your seat. And up top, Christian, 73 yards on 9 carries, but he had those fumbles, which I know really going to
really hurt him.
Bother him. The 23 yards, 2 carries by Casey, and that's about it. The 96 yards between those two, but without a passing game, it was hard for them to try to get back into the game.
Let's take a look at the Edwards stats.
And for the Edwards works, good game on both sides of the football. He actually had a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, 60 yards and 10 carries. Quilter, 11 carries for 56 yards. And I'll tell you, Rivera did have, they tried a tricky play, but I tell you, after it's almost like after Edwards scored that first touchdown, they just seemed far more confident for some reason.
Sure, they had sort of a swagger.
Yeah, right. Because the body language was as if they were like way ahead, and they were only up by 1 score. But it proved to be right because defensively, they were in control. They killed most of the clock on offense, and second half, they didn't even need to score.
Right. They really didn't. They just controlled the football and were able to grind down the clock and grind away a victory here in the city championship for middle school football. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. You can also go to our Facebook page. We're going to post a link on our Facebook page. You can also go there for different videos, updates, a lot of information. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Can't believe it, but the high school football season is almost complete in 2 days. We're going to be right back here on Thanksgiving morning for EC Southie. That long, over a century-old tradition will continue. We'll have it for you here on Thursday morning. For right now, folks, so long here from White Stadium on Game of the Week. Take care.